today I'm gonna add one amazing superstar using every letter of the alphabet. We will start with a blank roster, pick a position, and select the letter behind one of these boxes, and whichever letter it is, we have to select a player whose name begins with that letter, starting with our halfback. Alright, let's go with this box right over here. The letter J. We can go with Joe Mixon, Jonathan Taylor, or Josh Jacobs. But I'm going with 89 overall Jonathan Taylor, who will be our starting running back. And that's a great start because the goal of the video is to win a Super Bowl with this team. And if we fail, I will pick one random player in the comments down below and buy their jerseys to wear in an upcoming video. As we continue on, I will be able to use a player by either their first name or their last name, as long as it starts with the letter it lands on. Let's move on to wide receivers now. And let's go with this box right over here. It's gonna be the letter D. For some reason, the only receiver that comes to mind is Tank Dell, but I know that can't be right. Oh, I totally forgot about Devontae Adams and Stephon Diggs. You could also go with Gabe Davis or Josh Downs, but Devontae Adams is by far the highest rated receiver for the letter D, so let's add him to the team. Once the letter is used, we can no longer use it again. So I will have to really think about my decisions as it will affect my future choices. Okay, moving on to wide receiver number 2, I really want to add someone like Tyreek Hill or CeeDee Lamb, so let's go with this box right over here. It's gonna be the letter N, and there are only a handful of choices like Puka Nacua, Nico Collins, and Malik Neighbors. And even though Nacua and Nico were the highest rated, Malik Neighbors has been balling out in his rookie season, so I'm going to add him to our team instead. As for wide receiver number 3, we have to use a player whose name starts with the letter O. That's pretty easy, Chris Olave. You could also go with Rome Odunze, but Olave is much higher rated, so he's joining our receiver room. And with that last selection, we have knocked out 4 letters so far, adding some great players to the team. But honestly, it's only going to get much harder from here on out. Next up, we have to select our tight end using the letter S. A few solid options like Sam Laporta or Dalton Schultz, and we honestly can't go wrong with either of these two choices, but Sam Laporta is younger and has more speed, so he will be the tight end on our roster. If we end up landing on a letter with no available player at that position, I'll be forced to add the lowest rated player, which will hurt our chances at winning a Super Bowl. Now, for the offensive line. Starting with our left tackle and left guard. We're gonna open 2 boxes here, and it's the letter L and H. For the letter L, we can go with rookie JC Latham or veteran tackle Laramie Tunzel. And even though JC Latham would be a great choice since he's much younger, I can't be passing up on 95 overall Laramie Tunzel, so let's add him to the team. But as for the letter H, there's only one option, and it's Matt Hennessy. This is for sure gonna hurt overall of our team. But luckily, the next letter ended up being M for our center position, and I was able to add Eric McCoy, who definitely improves our offensive line. Let's see which letter we have to go with for our right guard, and it's gonna be the letter U, which is not good because I don't think there's a single guard in the game that starts with the letter U, first or last name. And after scrolling through all the guards in the NFL, we are stuck adding the lowest rated right guard in Madden 25, and that's the 60 overall rookie. He doesn't even have a picture. Yeah, I might be wasting my money today. Okay, let's see which player we can go with for a right tackle, and it's the letter T. 2 solid choices in Zach Tom or Tyler Moden. I think Tom will help our team a bit more since he's a bit younger and will probably develop throughout the season, so let's add him to our team. We will save the quarterback position till after we complete our defense, but so far we've used 10 letters and our offense is looking pretty good. Let's completely build our defense starting with the left end. So many really great players with the letters remaining, and it's going to be the letter B. Yes, that's a good one. We could go with Nick Bosa, who is the highest rated left end in Madden 25, and that's a perfect start to our defense. Let's see who will be joining him at right end, and it has to be a player whose name starts with the letter B. The only player whose last name begins with the letter B is Lucas Van Ness, but we can go with Von Miller instead, and he will be joining Nick Bosa on our defense. As for the 2 defensive tackles for the team, we had to use the letters R and E. Both very easy choices, bringing in DJ Reader and Ed Oliver. Next up, we have to add our linebackers to the team, starting with the letter Q. And there's only one linebacker in the entire NFL whose name starts with the letter Q, and that's Patrick Queen. He will now be the middle linebacker. We definitely got really lucky adding him to our roster because we would have ended up with this low-rated middle linebacker instead. And before we get to the outside linebackers for the team, we have officially used 15 letters so far, and the defense is off to a great start. Let's go ahead and add a right outside linebacker to the team using the letter K. And after scrolling through some of the right outside linebackers, I came across Khalil Mack as the best option, and he will join Queen at linebacker. And right into the next letter, I decided to pick this box, and it ended up being the letter W. I was worried at first, but then I remembered we could add TJ Watt, and our linebacker room is actually really solid. We have used 17 letters so far, and only 9 remain. Team is looking pretty solid so far, but we still need to see which QB will be leading our team. And next is the strong safety position. Let's go with this box right over here. Okay, the letter F. The only letter I could find was Derek Forrest, who's only a 77 overall. And as for free safety, we have to use the letter X. I honestly don't even think there's a player whose name starts with the letter X. Oh, never mind. We have Xavier McKinney, and he will join Forrest at the safety position. The last position on defense is cornerback. You can get our first letter, and it's the letter I. A bunch of options like Isaiah Rodgers, Isaac Yadam, and Demarcus Ingram, but they're all under 80 overall. So let's go ahead and add Isaiah Rodgers to the team. I'm gonna pick 2 more boxes here, and it's the letter G, which is really good, and then the letter C. Don't even have to think about it, bringing in Sauce Gardner and Charvarius Ward. With just 4 letters remaining, we now have to select our QB. And I'm really hoping we get the letter A or P, since there are some solid options at QB like Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers, Dak Prescott, and Brock Purdy. If we get Y or Z, we might be in big trouble. And let's go with this first box right over here, and it's A, which means we can add Josh Allen as our quarterback. We still need a kicker and punter, so let's pick 2 boxes, and we get the letter Y and the letter P. After searching the kickers, we could add Younghoe Koo, and as for punter, let's add Bradley Pinion. The last letter is Z, and that means we can bring in Xander Horvath as our fullback. After adding 1 player from every letter, the team is all set with Josh Allen leading the offense, while Sauce Gardner and TJ Watt lead the defense. This feels like one of the most random teams we've built so far, but let's just hope they can win me a Super Bowl. And the opening game of the season started off pretty good as Josh Allen worked our offense down the field and Jonathan Taylor was able to punch it in for the touchdown. Even though Drake May and the Patriots offense were able to move the ball fairly well on their opening drive, our defense came up with a big stop and the Patriots ended up settling for 3. As we simulate the rest of the game, we have a massive lead in the first half, and the second half we continue to dominate, easily defeating the Patriots by a big score. Josh Allen was amazing, throwing for 386 yards and 4 touchdowns, while Jonathan Taylor only rushed 9 times but had 2 touchdowns. Defense was amazing with Gardner getting a pick and a number of our players had a sack. You have to sim the rest of the season to see if this team we built using every letter can make the playoffs. And they do, finishing with a 14-3 record in the AFC, so that's good enough for first place. We ended up losing back-to-back against the Chiefs and Commanders, and then the Chargers in Week 11. Luckily, we only have a first-round bye, so we only need to win 3 more games to be crowned Super Bowl champions, and then I won't have to waste my money buying a jersey. Josh Allen was really good this season, throwing for almost 4,200 yards with 45 touchdowns and 11 interceptions. Jonathan Taylor almost had 1,000 rushing yards, while Chris Olave and Devontae Adams excelled with over 1,000 receiving yards. We now take on the 12-5 Ravens in the divisional round. After the Ravens got down the field on their opening drive, Patrick Queen almost recovered a fumble against Lamar, but he was able to jump on it, and the Ravens kicked 3 to take the lead. Josh Allen was on fire on his opening drive as he connects with Devontae Adams for a big game, and then capped the drive off with his 5-yard rushing touchdown. After simming the rest of the first half, we have a pretty big lead. Let's go ahead and sim the rest of the game, and it looks like we're going to hold off the Ravens and move on to the AFC Championship game. Next up is the Buffalo Bills, who end up replacing Josh Allen with Joe Burrow, and he was balling out against his former team, finding Keon Coleman on the pass to the end zone for the first touchdown of the game. After failing to convert on 3rd down, he had to punt the ball back to the Bills. Burrow was then able to get his new team all the way down the field and was able to connect with Curtis Samuel for a 2-yard touchdown. They managed to score once again before halftime, and we trailed by 21. And things got worse in the second half as we failed to convert on a 4th down to cut the lead, and the Bills end up using the rest of the clock, and we lose in the AFC Championship game. Failing our challenge, so that means I will be buying a player jersey designed by one of you. Comment down below and must wear it in a future video. The Bills did go on to win the Super Bowl over the Niners, so there's that. If you enjoyed this video, you should definitely check out where I use one jersey number from every NFL team. It's right over here. I would go check it out.